During the Holocaust, in the concentration and extermination camps, there were a group of prisoners called the Sonderkommandos. These prisoners, usually Jews, in exchange for proper food, liquor, cigarettes, bed linens, and 12 weeks of life, would lead prisoners to the gas chambers, clean the chambers, strip the bodies of jewelry, hair, and gold teeth, and burn the bodies in the crematoriums. After 12 weeks, the commandos, being the only prisoners to see the insides of the crematoriums and chambers and live, had to be killed to ensure secrecy. One commando escaping and revealing the death machine would result in major panic. The Grey Zone tells the story of the final days of the Jewish-Hungarian 12th Sonderkommando and their plot to destroy Crematorium 4. The plot and movie is as bare bones as it comes. The Jewish-Hungarian Sonderkommandos are planning to destroy Crematorium 4. Armed with a few guns from the Polish citizens and gunpowder from the munitions factory, they are waiting for the Poles' green light. Tensions are high as the Germans are losing the war and the 12 weeks of allotted life are ticking down. During this time, Jewish-Hungarian doctor Miklos Nyírsly works with Josef Mengele, hoping to get permission to see his wife and daughter. Senior squadron leader Erich Musfeld, believing an uprising is inevitable, demands that Nyírsly mention anything he hears to him. The women who smuggle in the gunpowder are brutally tortured and killed, along with many others, but reveal nothing. The commandos lead a trainload of prisoners to the chamber. One man starts making a scene. A commando named Hoffman beats him to death. Once the doors to the crematoria are opened, Hoffman finds a survivor, a little girl. He and two other commandos, Rosenthal and Schlermer, call upon the doctor to save the girl. While they are hiding her, Mosfeld walks in. He notices a man named Abramowitz's illegal presence in the crematorium and shoots him. The little girl shrieks at the sound of the shot. Nyírsly tells Musfeld that an uprising will occur in exchange for the girl's life, but he cannot tell her when or where this will happen. Musfeld agrees to protect the young girl after the uprising is suppressed. The insurrection begins in Crematorium 4. Those who survive the explosion and gunfight are captured and shot. Rosenthal and Hoffman share an emotional moment, overjoyed that they have done something good, right before they are executed with 200 other commandos. The little girl is released from the camp, only to be shot by Musfeld. I understand fully that a lot of people will disagree with my opinion, stating that this is the best Holocaust film ever. And I think I know which movie you believe is the best. I have a couple of issues with Schindler's List and movies of that caliber. Number one is the music. I do not know why they need Jiminy Cricket sawing on a fiddle to convey that the Holocaust is sad. That's just stupid. The Grey Zone does not do that. You hear the sounds of Auschwitz. The gunfire, the screams, the crackling of fire, the whining and clanging of the crematorium cart, and the sound of a truck dumping a pile of ash we know was once a train full of men, women, and children. There is a sad song that plays during the uprising. I do not particularly like that, but I understand the use in a climactic scene. Secondly, the shower scene in Schindler's List enrages me. This scene is set up to be one of the most disturbing scenes in cinema ever. We, the audience, are going to see a group of women killed. We are going to see them cough violently, claw the walls and each other till their fingers bleed and their nails splinter. They will struggle to breathe, and they will die. This is a scene of nightmares. And then what happens? What are we supposed to feel? Relief? Tell that to the millions of Jews, Slavs, Soviet POWs, Romanis, homosexuals, people of different faiths, people of intellectual or physical disabilities, and political dissidents. They didn't get relief. The Grey Zone does not do this. It only shows the aftermath of the genocide and the cleaning and painting of the walls. Finally, my big issue with films like Schindler's List are that they are beautiful. Every single piece of cinematography, direction, writing, music, and acting is a piece of art. It is horribly distracting from the big issue that the film is conveying, the genocide of people deemed as undesirable. The Grey Zone does not blunder. Tim Blake Nelson reverently directs The Grey Zone, showing the viewer the life of the 12th Sonderkommando in their final days in Auschwitz, free of any kind of cinematic beauty. For the record, Tim Blake Nelson is the guy who played Delmar O'Donnell, Dr. Pendanski, and Buster Scruggs. Definitely not someone I would have ever expected to not only direct, but write and edit The Grey Zone. The thing that makes The Grey Zone so compelling are the morals of the commandos. Most Holocaust films are morally black and white. Evil versus good, unspeakably awful things happening to innocent people. Each one of the characters feels shame for their actions, but whether they are killers is considered debatable. Men like Abrahamowitz believe the commandos to be killers, while Rosenthal says that they are not pulling the trigger. Dr. Nieschli, a man who wants to save his wife and daughter, a completely understandable motive, helps prepare specimens and perform dissections on children for Josef Mengele, one of the most vile Nazis ever. The old man that Rosenthal euthanizes in the beginning of the film pushed the bodies of his own wife, children, and grandchildren into the furnaces. He did not stop, attack a guard, take his own life to be with his family. He just kept pushing the cart. We, the audience, know exactly why these characters are doing what they are doing. To live. Even for just 12 more weeks. It is shocking to have such morally questionable characters as the film's protagonists, especially in a Holocaust film. While the 12th Sonderkommando bravely sacrificed themselves to destroy half the crematoriums in Auschwitz, crematoriums that would not be rebuilt, slowing the Nazi death machine, there were a total of 13 units at Auschwitz. 12 of these units obeyed their captors, leading their own people to their deaths and harvesting their corpses. This is not even mentioning the thousands of commandos in other camps and subcamps. The gray zone makes an individual ask themselves, would I join the Sonderkommandos? A very uncomfortable question. Holocaust films are notorious as Oscar and award bait, so why is it that this film is so unknown? Very simple. The day before the Gray Zone was supposed to be released, this happened. As you can imagine, the nation was not particularly eager to watch a somber and reflective film about one of the darkest times in world history right after the biggest terror attack on American soil. Despite big-name actors like Harvey Keitel, Steve Buscemi, Mira Sorvino, and David Arquette, the support of Steven Spielberg, and the film being on Roger Ebert's Great Movies list, The Gray Zone fell into and still lies in obscurity, a forgotten gem of cinema. I understand this is not a movie that you will watch for fun, but if you have the slightest interest in experiencing, in my opinion, one, if not the greatest Holocaust film ever made, watch The Gray Zone. Thank you for watching.